So we are at the BCCI headquarters. This is my third time, I think, here. It's a very office kind of a feeling which I'm not very used to, so it's a fun feeling. I've done plenty of press conferences. Obviously, this is different. We have a press conference in about 23 minutes now. So I'll be addressing, me and Gauti Pai, we would be addressing the press before our England tour. The captain press conferences are they are different to the one-on-one, the post-match press conference that you do. That's for sure. You just put your thought, whatever your thought was, whatever your thought process was before making any kind of a decision. So that's what I try to do. In any press conference, once or twice, there are some questions that are that are a bit funny. Whenever I dreamt of playing India and performing for India and doing whatever I can as a batsman to win matches by my performance, by scoring. Not even in my dreams I thought, oh, one day I want to be the captain and I want to lead India. But I think as you keep growing older, you keep playing, and then you start to understand the role of leadership and leaders. But when I was young, I just thought I want to play for India, I want to win matches for India.
पहला दौरा है कैप्टनसी के तौर पे, आप किस तरह से देखते हैं? और दूसरा सवाल मेरा ये कि रोहित शर्मा और विराट कोहली नहीं है दौरे पे, कितना प्रेशर आएगा?
सर, आई थिंक प्रेशर तो हर एक टूर में होता है एज ए टीम आपके ऊपर जीतने के लिए, और डेफिनेटली दो काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर जो इतने लंबे समय के लिए हमारे टीम में खेले और इतने सारे मैचेस उन्होंने जिताए हैं, काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है फिल करना उनका स्पेस, बट कोई एज सच कोई डिफरेंट प्रेशर नहीं है. हर एक सीरीज में प्रेशर रहता है और हर एक सीरीज सारे प्लेयर, आई थिंक प्लेयर और टीम्स हम सब यूज्ड होते हैं कि कैसे प्रेशर सिचुएशन में खेलना और कैसे जीतना. हाँ जी सर, वही उन दो एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर नहीं है, बट आई थिंक जो हमारे टीम में बैटिंग कॉम्बिनेशन और बॉलिंग कॉम्बिनेशन जिसके साथ हम जा रहे हैं, तो टीम में काफ़ी अच्छा मिक्स है एक्सपीरियंस और टैलेंट का.
A lot of this players in his team will be to the first or second. Do you think, I suppose, it's also a good space to be in because you don't have too much of, you come with open slate, you go with open mind, and you just go with the flow of it. Do you think that that's sort of advantage to also tell the boys not to be under pressure and take the set again?
Look, you're always in a good space. When you go on such a big tour and such an exciting tour as well. It's 5 test match series in England. Everyone is excited. Everyone want to go out there, express themselves, do well. It's another opportunity to do something special for the country. So you're always in a good space. And more importantly, when you spoke about it's a clean slate, see, it really doesn't matter, to be honest, whether it's a clean slate or not a clean slate. For me, the most exciting thing is that we've got really quality players in this squad who are really willing to go out there and express themselves and do something special.
Shubhman, tell us about the initial reactions when you heard about the prospects of becoming India captain, what does that mean to you? And also a little bit on your batting position, who will you go clear number 3? As a captain, is there a preferred position you like to play with the team combination center?
Sir, firstly, when I came to know that opportunity has been presented to me to be able to captain the test team, very overwhelming. Was quite overwhelmed with the whole experience. But having said that, I think it's a big responsibility, and looking forward to this great challenge that I think that would be presented to us. And we haven't really decided on the. We'll see. We still have some time. We'll be playing inter-squad match, and I think we'll be having a 10-day camp in London. So we still have a little bit of time, and I think we can decide on the batting order once we go there.
Hi, my question is on both captain and coach. As we all know that Bhura may not play all 5 tests in this series. So how big it will be a challenge for both of you to play if he will not be fit for any test?
Sir, I think we have picked enough bowlers and we have enough pace battery, and a lot of our fast bowlers are in a great space to be able to win us test matches from any situation in any position. Obviously, when you have someone like Jasprit Bumrah, depending on how many matches he would play, it would be, whenever he would come back and play the match for us, it would be a great sight for us. But I think we have great mix of bowlers and great set of bowlers who can get the job for the team done.
Look, it's always difficult to replace someone like Jasprit Bumrah, but we've got enough quality. And I've said it before during the Champions Trophy as well, it will give someone the opportunity to put his hand up. And we've got enough talent there. I know that he's quality, but we've got enough quality apart from him as well in the squad.
A follow-up to Bumrah, for both of you. Have you all decided which test matches he would miss and which he would play? 1, 3, 5 or 1, 2, 4, 5, something like that? Or you will take a call after going there? And during the IPL, were the players practicing, England-bound players, were they practicing with the Duke's ball aside from the practice sessions for your franchise?
Look, the first question I can answer, and then the second one Shubhi can answer. The first one is obviously we haven't taken that call that which 3 games is he going to play. Obviously we're going to have a discussion with him, and depending on the series as well. A lot will depend on the results of the series as well, where the series is heading, and that is something which I'm sure he's very well aware of as well, and that's important.
Sir, I think it's a very individual call. I think if someone is playing the IPL first, I think it's their responsibility to be able to be in the present and give their full commitment to the team that they're playing at. But I think it was a very individual call. If some players, they wanted to have a bit of the feel with the Duke's ball, keeping in mind there are a bit of time frame or rest days between matches, I think some players would have.
जब तक आपको पता लगा हुआ कि आप कैप्टन बनने वाले हैं, थोड़ा बहुत तो हो चुका है और आप चीफ सेलेक्टर हेड कोच से भी बात कर चुके होंगे, थोड़ा टाइम भी मिला होगा आपको आईपीएल के बाद। इस चीज से टाइम मिला है सोचने की किस तरह के कैप्टन आप बनना चाहते हैं? सबकी स्टाइल, सबका स्ट्रेंथ अलग होता है, तो इस तरह का विजन, क्योंकि कैप्टनसी केवल जीतने के बारे में नहीं, ड्रेसिंग रूम, मैन मैनेजमेंट, इन सारी चीजों के बारे में।
सर, ऐसा कोई पर्टिकुलर स्टाइल तो नहीं है जो मैं बोलूँ कि मुझे ये चीज़ फॉलो करनी है। आप जैसे जैसे खेलते हैं, जैसे जैसे आप और ज़्यादा आपको एक्सपीरियंस मिलता है, तो आई थिंक आपका जो एक पर्सनल स्टाइल होता है वो आई थिंक और ज़्यादा अच्छे से लोगों को दिखता है। जो मुझे पसंद है कि कम्युनिकेशन प्लेयरों के साथ, प्लेयर्स को सिक्योर फील कराना, उनसे बात करना और उनकी वीकनेस और जो उनकी स्ट्रेंथ है उनमें उनको कंफर्ट देना, तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं जो मुझे प्लेयरों के साथ एक बॉन्ड बनाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मुझे लगता है। किसी भी टीम के, अगर आप कैप्टन है, किसी भी टीम के लीडर होते हो, बिकॉज अगर आपके प्लेयर्स बहुत सिक्योर फील कर रहे हैं तभी आपको वो अपना पूरा 100% दे सकते हैं।
इंग्लैंड की हर एक गांव की कंडीशन अलग है, तो कितना डिफिकल्ट होगा, कितना टाइम होगा कि स्पिनर और ऑलराउंडर या इस बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर को
देखिए, सिर्फ हर ग्राउंड की कंडीशन डिफरेंट नहीं है, ओवरहेड कंडीशंस भी बहुत मैटर करती है इंग्लैंड में, सिर्फ ग्राउंड की कंडीशंस नहीं। तो सारी चीज़ें देख के ऑब्वियसली बेस्ट प्लेइंग 11 सिलेक्ट की जाएगी कि जो हमारे को रिजल्ट दे सके, उसमें चाहे वो स्पिन बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर हो या सीम बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर हो। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक या दो चीज़ें देखे कि क्या हमारे पास ऑप्शन है। और मोर इम्पॉर्टेंटली टेस्ट मैच तभी जीते जाते हैं जब आप 20 विकेट लेते हो। आप 1000 रन बना दो तब भी कोई गारंटी नहीं है जीतने की, लेकिन 20 विकेट अगर आप लेते हैं तो आप मोरलेस आप उस पोजीशन में जहाँ पर आप टेस्ट मैच जीत सकते हैं।
I think a couple of questions. Firstly, last 2 series were not so good. Test series, we won the Champions Trophy after that. So, do you think that there are areas in red ball cricket that this team can improve on? Have you identified those areas and sort of also feeling the pressure as a coach going into this series? And secondly, if you could, I'm sorry to digress on the head road, but if you could talk about yesterday's strategy in terms of, does the Indian fan deserve better and should there be more?
Look, first of all, I want to say that I'm always under pressure, irrespective whether we've got the results, whether we've not got the results. If you would have asked me this question after New Zealand, I would have said yes, I'm under pressure. After Australia, I would have said yes, under pressure. After winning the Champions Trophy, still under pressure. Because me being the coach, you always want the results. Every game you're part of, part of this team, you want to get the results for the country, as simple as it can get. You probably would think that I'm under more pressure, I'm under less pressure after winning or after losing. That really doesn't matter. I'm under exactly the same pressure, irrespective of whether we're winning or losing. And the second thing is, obviously, that's a very important question, and I need to answer that, is I was never a believer that we need to have road shows. Never. When I was playing, I had the same statement to make, even after winning 2007, that we should not have road shows. I think life of the people are far more important. And I will continue to say that even in future, I think we can be a little bit aware of not holding these kind of road shows and can probably have it in a closed door or something like in a stadium. And it is very tragic what happened yesterday. And my heart goes to the family of people who've lost their loved ones. And I hope in future nothing like this can happen, because I think we all are responsible and we all are responsible citizens, and we should take care of all this.
Shubhman, my question is to you. Taking over the test captaincy from Rohit Sharma is a significant responsibility. What leadership qualities do you aim to bring to the team, and how do you plan to manage the expectations that come with you?
Ma'am, I think expectations are always there. Even if you're playing there as a batsman, there are always expectations from you to be able to perform and win matches for the team. So I don't think it's any different. And the qualities, I've played under some amazing and terrific leaders. Rohit Bhai was, I think, he was, with his communication, he was very clear from what he wanted from the players, and that was his great quality, which I would want to inherit from him.
One question to you, Gautam, you've been a part of this community for a very long time. You've been part of that 2007 actually was just mentioned right now. Even in IPL, we've seen the amount of fans, amount of passion that is kind of increasing between the fans. Is it also very different from what it was there in the past, and how do you see it now? Just in context of what happened yesterday in Bangalore. And one question to you, Shubhman, how much is it that you want to stress on your own batting, given that there is a huge role of leadership right now, but you also have a point to prove in terms of maybe kind of improving your numbers, taking that average a little high compared to what it is right now, and just
Look, I've answered that question. I think I can't say whether the fan base has increased or all that kind of a stuff, but all I can say is that we need to be responsible. We need to be responsible citizens, and we need to be responsible in every aspect of whether being a franchise or everything, because every life matters. And if we are not ready to hold a road show, we shouldn't have done that. As simple as it can get. I know fans do get excited, everyone gets excited, the fan bases get excited, but nothing compared to what has happened yesterday. You cannot at any point of time, you can lose 11 people. So for me, I think we can be more responsible.
Sir, as a leader, as a captain, you definitely want to be able to lead by example, by your performance, and any match that you play. When I'm batting out there, I just want to play as a batsman, and I want to make decisions as a batsman. Having said that, averages and numbers are not something that I look at, but I definitely want to lead the way by my performance with the batting.
Last year, Shubhman, England is known to play bad ball, high risk and highly aggressive kind of cricket. What happened for the over here that they counter-fired, actually backfired. So you think that provides a chance to this kind of play? And Gautam, you have answered this question outside, but is there a chance that given the way Shreyas Iyer played in the IPL and everything, is there a chance that going forward he may be covered or something? You said that it is not your job, selector's job, but is there a chance?
Yes, sir. They play a certain way. I think we saw that when they came to India as well. But I think it's very exciting for us. It gives us an opportunity, and I think it's a great challenge if we are very proactive with our execution, and if we are proactive with our plans. I think it would put them under pressure immensely.
Look, anyone can be called. Anyone can be called if they're in good form. We could only pick 18, and the chairman selector has already answered that question. For me, I think it's always about being open to people who are in good form, who can come and deliver.
These are my questions to you. Though you will be taking a call on the batting lineup once you reach the practice sessions, but what's your take on the way something like a Karun Nair who has found his way to the test circuit and he can well
his chances as a without a batter? What do you think on that?
Look, it's just great for domestic cricket as well, and it's great for the future of domestic cricket, because all the youngsters that are playing domestic cricket will know the importance of domestic cricket. If you keep doing well in domestic cricket, doors are never shut for you, and it's always good to have the experience of Karun, who's played a bit of county cricket there as well, and he's in really good form. He's got a double hundred for India, so it's always good to have players, especially on these kind of tours, who are in good form and who are among the runs as well. So his experience will definitely come in handy, and hopefully he can deliver. And more importantly, look, again, we will not judge someone by just 1 or 2 test matches. You guys can, but we won't, because I think if someone has scored heaps of runs, I think he will be given a decent run, so that he can showcase his talent at this level as well.
Fine. गौतम, मेरा नाम संदीप, मैं रिपब्लिक से बैंगलोर के संदर्भ में हिंदी में आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, जिस प्रकार की कल घटना हुई, निश्चित रूप से आरसीबी 18 साल बाद मैच जीता और आईपीएल जीता है। 11 लोगों की मौत है, कितना गंभीर है और आप किसे जिम्मेदार मानते हैं?
देखिए, पहली बात तो यह है कि मैं कोई नहीं यहाँ पर किसको जिम्मेदार मानता हूँ। मैं इम्पॉर्टेंट ये है, मैंने पहले ये सवाल का जवाब दिया कि मैं जब खेलता था तब भी मैं इन रोड शोज़ में ज़्यादा बिलीव करता नहीं था, मैं आज भी नहीं करता और मैं आगे भी नहीं करूँगा। जीतना इंपॉर्टेंट है, सेलिब्रेशन इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है किसी भी व्यक्ति की ज़िंदगी। तो अगर हम प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं हैं या अगर हम उस तरीके के क्राउड को हैंडल नहीं कर सकते, तो माइट एज वेल ये रोड शोज़ नहीं होने चाहिए, बिकॉज वी ऑल आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन ऑफ दिस कंट्री, और वो हमारे को हर तरीके में और हर एक्शन में दिखना चाहिए, और हमारे को अपना वो एक्शन दिखाना भी चाहिए।
England have a 5-test match series against India starting on the 20th of June at Leeds, and fresh out of the BCCI this morning we've heard of the India squad that will be travelling over. New captain Shubhman Gill, and I suppose when you look down that list, Owen Morgan, it's more about the players that perhaps are not there than the ones that have been selected.
Yeah, absolutely. Obvious names to state that aren't there: Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Ravichandran Ashwin, but they're still a very, very strong squad. I think the captaincy decision is the right one. I played alongside Shubhman Gill at the Kolkata Knight Riders for 2 seasons at the IPL a few years ago. He's a natural leader. He takes on responsibility within a group. He doesn't mind questioning methodology within the camp, but ultimately the collective goal is so important. They're so strong. Names as expected that you would see: Rishabh Pant, Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, the bowling lineup, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj. I'd like to give the public a couple of names to watch out for that I've seen quite a lot of at the IPL. So Sai Siddharthan, top order left-handed batter, plays at the Gujarat Titans. He's joint leading run scorer beside Shubhman Gill in the IPL this year. Is an excellent cricketer, very fluent, easy on the eye, seamlessly takes on risk without actually, he's one of those players that gets the scoreboard going without playing big shots. So good signs there. He's one to watch. And a bowler, Prasid Krishna, who, big, tall, gangly bowler, has pace to burn, joint wicket taker at the IPL as well. So I played alongside him. Good character. His role in T20 cricket is to bowl throughout the middle, come in, smash a line and a good length. So in test match cricket, very, very pertinent and easily transferable as well. But that is a very, very strong squad.
Just other names that have popped out at me: Karen Nair, who famously made a triple hundred against England for India. Hasn't been seen since pretty much, but he gets himself
only
back
in Northants.
Yes,
he's been down and played with the men in maroon.
Yes, indeed. Who do you see opening the batting? Obviously, no Rohit Sharma. Will KL Rahul perhaps get a gig at the top of the order in his stead, or do you see somebody else taking on that role?
Here for me, it's the top 3 has to be Gill, Jaiswal, KL. That's just the top 3 batters in that manner. Whether they slip Sai Siddharthan either side of the all-rounders is a different question, or they put him to one side. Because it's a long test match series, he might get a go in, say, the 3rd or the 5th at some stage. But they're absolutely spoiled for choice when it comes to batters.
Just briefly then, without those very, very experienced names, Rohit Sharma and, of course, Virat Kohli, do you put England slight favourites? Obviously, you've got the home advantage. India haven't won here. Do you think that perhaps shorn of that experience, in England hold the whip hand before a ball has been bowled?
Yeah, I do, without doubt. Yeah, I would, without a ball being bowled now, I would make England favourites. I haven't looked at any of the markets. Just with home form, with the journey that the England Test team are on, I would say things are in their favour at the moment. So it's a nice place to be. I've played in some really bad teams, Butch, where we were never the favourites.
Me too.
Yeah. So you would rather be favourites, but it's going to be a tough tour for India.
Yep, certainly will. Okay, well, India are chock full of stars, chock full of talent, and it is going to be an absolutely absorbing 5 Test match series.
Most times, predictable teams are good because it tells you that there's the continuity, that people have performed well over time. I look at this team for the Tour of England and I think it's very, very, very predictable, but for a different reason. I don't think the selector had too many options. And when I look down the list of 18, I genuinely believe that everybody who could be picked has been picked. You could look at a Shreyas Iyer, maybe a Mohammad Shami, maybe, but there'd be reasons. So it's a predictable team, but not necessarily for the right reason. So let's go down what the selectors have done. First of all, with the appointment of Shubhman Gill, an open secret, but an extraordinary honor for a very young man. And all I would wish for Shubhman Gill at this stage is calmness, humility, dignity, because he's ascended to a position that some of the greatest in India have, and some who didn't. Let's be fair. But to join a list that has names like those, wow, all the way from Tiger Pataudi through to Virat Kohli, including Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, Tendulkar, Dhoni, Ganguly. Wow. So I just wish him the calmness and humility to accept what has come his way. Why has he got it? My first choice, as I've said before in a blog, was Jasprit Bumrah. But the moment Bumrah said he's only going to play 3 tests, and that's now official, with Ajit Agarkar saying you could not have a captain who'd be 1, 3 and 5 and someone else who's 2 and 4. So effectively Bumrah had ruled himself out. The only other option was KL Rahul. But as I said before, it's best that KL Rahul is left alone. So Rishabh Pant becomes vice captain. That is fairly predictable too. But why did I say that everyone who could be picked has been picked? Let's look at all the batters who've been picked. First of all, I think India's a batter short. But other than Shreyas Iyer, who you could make a case for, every single batter who was in contention has been picked. And you look at the influence of T20 cricket too, as you go down this side, with the selection of Sai Sudarshan and Arshdeep Singh. Yes, they've played first-class cricket, but they haven't set stadiums on fire. You're picking them because the standard of our domestic cricket is now no longer what it was. The moment we went to 38 teams, it was inevitable. I'm not sure there's talent bursting through, but I'm very happy that they've considered domestic cricket in the selection of Abhimanyu Ishwaran and Karun Nair. So good on them. It tells you that if you can keep at it, Abhimanyu Ishwaran averages 75, then the door is still open. I don't know if Abhimanyu Ishwaran is the third opener or whether he could go in straight away up front and allow KL Rahul to bat in the middle, an idea that I like enormously. What about Karun Nair? They say that if you're knocking on the door and no one's listening, you must break it down. And Karun Nair has broken it down. Cricket has indeed given him the second chance that he craved for. And it's happening at a place where the dip in his career really started. Back in England in 2018, Karun Nair is a reserve batter, remember. They thought he wasn't batting well enough. And so when a place emerged, it actually went to Hanuma Vihari, who came in from the A team. So great opportunity for Karun Nair. He's played in England before, as has Sai Sudarshan. And I wish him very well because he's taken the hard route, he's taken the tough route, and that is always fantastic. So what's the batting lineup going to be? A lot will depend on Yashasvi Jaiswal. I think KL Rahul will be the other opener, whatever I feel. Then Sai Sudarshan, and I see increasingly Shubhman Gill making a home for himself at number 4. Then Rishabh Pant and maybe Karun Nair. That's the way it goes. But if you look at that list, then you look at 3 all-round players who've been selected primarily because they can actually get into the side as pure batters. That's Nitish Reddy, Ravindra Jadeja and Dhruv Jurel. Jurel has already been in that situation before. So the poverty in choices, in selection of the top order, India have sought to overcome that by picking a lot of batting all-rounders. And I say batting all-rounders because I think that's what Jurel is. I think that's what Nitish Reddy is. I also think that is what Ravindra Jadeja is because his numbers have been absolutely fantastic. It's been a very hot summer in England, and so they've gone in with 3 spinners. Once again, Washington Sundar, I should have mentioned him earlier, who could play purely as a batter and then back up with his off-spin, as he's done in test matches before. But they picked 3 spinners on the assumption that someday you'll get a game where you might need 2. I don't think they'll ever need 3, but they want 2. So they picked 3. Those 3 literally picked themselves. Then come the fast bowlers. Bumrah had to be there, but the effect of Bumrah playing only 3 test matches has had an unintended knockdown effect with Mohammad Shami. I spoke to Mohammad Shami yesterday and he said he could play 3 test matches because he's got to go up from 4 overs to 20 overs since he's come back from injury. He's bowled 10 overs, he's bowled 4 overs. But the fear was that if Bumrah plays only 3 test matches and if Shami is only going to play 3 test matches, you cannot carry 2 of those on one tour. And as a result, India have had to leave out Mohammad Shami, which is very sad, but yet another great is moving on. Is it a final moving on? We don't know yet, but I won't be surprised if it will, and it will be a sad moment if it is. So who have India got in their place? Mohammad Siraj picked himself. I like the selection of Akashdeep. I very much like the selection of Prasidh Krishna. Shardul Thakur comes back into the side. He had to come back in because none of the bowlers bat. If you do want to play, and either you play 4 quicks, then you can't have your tail starting at number 8. So Shardul comes in, otherwise Kuldeep might have to bat at that number. So it's a bit tricky. Shardul Thakur comes in as a seam bowling all-rounder, and Nitish Reddy comes in as a batting all-rounder who can bowl too. And I think this gives the captain, the selection committee, lots and lots and lots of options. You could actually play Nitish Reddy in a situation where you already have 3 seamers and you only want to play 1 spinner. So there's lots of options there. So I'm pretty happy with the new ball bowlers that have been picked. There's a punt on Arshdeep. I know they wanted a left arm. I think the reason they picked Arshdeep over Harshit Rana, and I think it's a good selection, is because even with the white ball, he's swinging the ball back in, he's swinging the ball away. The red ball will swing much more. And in English conditions, you want that swing bowler. He's played a season of first-class cricket for Kent as well, so he knows those conditions a little bit, and he loves learning. He's constantly asking questions, and I think he will grow on that tour. So there you are. That's the team that India picked so far. It's not going to be an easy tour, and for India to come back victorious, the batters will have to play beyond themselves. At the moment, it's a slightly iffy batting lineup, especially in those conditions. I know there's experience in terms of KL Rahul, in terms of Rishabh Pant, but there is no degree of freedom there. You've only got 1 other batter that you can go to. So if a couple go out of form, you're in trouble. So I've looked at all that, and that is why I think that the batters will have to do really well. I think the bowling might well look after itself, but the batters will have to take India home, but India have to win this series.
Joining us live will also be our cricket analyst in Sunil Gavaskar, and we'll decode the selection and whether this is the team that can then go ahead and beat England. In fact, I talk about Mr. Gavaskar. He joins us live. Sunil, before we take a look at Shubhman Gill, him becoming the 5th youngest captain to take over the reins of the Indian team, I'll start by Jasprit Bumrah. I remember you telling us that he should have been the ideal candidate to take over as the test captain, but now that the selectors have informed us he's not going to be available for all 5 test matches, at best 3 or even 4 test matches. Do you think that made the captaincy call a bit easier then for the selectors?
Yes, it definitely would have, because otherwise it would have been difficult to look beyond Jasprit Bumrah if he had been available for all 5 test matches. So the fact that he is not available for all 5 test matches because of his physical condition, and it's something that we in Indian cricket should be looking after, because he's contributed so much to Indian cricket that we must give him the leeway to look after his body and therefore be at his best whenever he plays for India, to give his best. So yes, I think therefore I think it was probably a little bit easier than to have Shubhman Gill as the captain of the Indian team.
Okay, Shubhman Gill, the 5th youngest captain in Indian Test history. Him becoming the captain, Saibai, your thoughts?
It's a good selection because we're looking ahead. We're looking to the future. Here is a man who's now got plenty of experience. Yes, you might say that he's played only 30 Test matches, but there have been so many Indian captains who have played less Test matches than him and then gone on to have a longer tenure as well. When you look at Shubhman Gill, the cricketer, you see how he approaches the game. You see the seriousness with which he approaches the game, the way he holds the game dear to his heart, and therefore every hope that he will go on to become one of the most successful of Indian skippers. It's a 2-year cycle as well. We started new two-year cycle for the World Test Championship, and so therefore giving it to a young cricketer who will be there not just for these 2 years, but even for the next couple of cycles or more, is the right thing to do.
Okay, just looking at his records, 32 Test matches, averages 35, which I would say is a decent enough average, not a great one at that. But my question to you is, how do you see Test captaincy now, the extra responsibility, impact his batting going forward? Because at the moment, more than a captain, what the Indian team desires is a batting mainstay after 2 of your senior players have left.
Look, whether he's a captain or not, the first couple of Test matches is not going to be easy in England because it could be a little cold and breezy and windy, where the ball will move in the air a little bit, and the pitches will be also a little bit fresher. So it probably won't be as easy to bat. But he's got the capability. We've all seen that in the way he has batted everywhere. Yes, he himself will be a little bit disappointed that he's got off to starts of 30s and 40s and not been able to convert it into a big one, particularly overseas. That's what he's not been able to do. And that's something that can be corrected. He's got all the time in the world. And I think now with the responsibility of the captaincy, he'll probably do even better, because I believe that sometimes as a captain, and if you're a batter, you can maybe cut down on a couple of shots which are productive, but also have some risk percentage associated with it. And so if he does that, he will be scoring big runs as well.
Saibai, we spoke about the captaincy. Now I'm going to get into the nitty-gritties. That is, some inclusions as well as some exclusions. Let's start with that of Sarfaraz Khan. He's played 6 Test matches for India so far. He had a decent record in those 6 Test matches that he played. He goes to Australia, does not get a single game, but now finds himself out. Even though he's fit, he's going to be playing the Air Tour, but misses out in that squad. How do you see that?
It's tough, but that's what cricket is all about. When you get the opportunities, you've got to grab them. You've got to make sure that the place is yours. You do not bat this next innings as if you've got 100. Even if you might have got 100 in the previous innings, you've got to get your eye in, try and bat and get those runs again in the second innings as well. So you must not give anybody a chance to push you out of the team. So it's entirely up to you to keep on scoring the runs, keep on knocking on the doors, and break the selection committee's doors down. And that's what you've got to do. But yes, I think it is a tough call, because after the tour of Australia, there has been no red ball cricket. I mean, there was a Ranji Trophy, but he was injured, so he didn't play. So there was no way that he could show what his form was.
I mean, the reason I asked you that question, Saibai, is because he does not get any game time in the last series. And then series before that versus New Zealand, I think the entire squad didn't have a great time. I think he got 100 in Bangalore. But after that, just misses out. Nothing against someone like a Karun. He's done really well. But in the pecking order, does he get pushed that far behind to be left out of the squad, Sarfaraz?
Well, that's what happens. That is what happens. We've seen in Indian cricket, or even in state cricket. Sometimes the team loses, and the guys who are in over 13th and 14th who haven't played in the game get dropped. That is how it is. That's how it has been, and that's how, because you have to be undroppable. That's the most important. The only way you can be undroppable is keep on performing consistently every single time that you get.
Okay, talking about taking your chances. 3 years ago, Karun Nair put a tweet out on social media. He writes, "Dear cricket, please give me another chance." 8 years after he last played a test match for India, now returns to the test setup. What a story, Karun Nair.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. It's a tremendous story. I mean, there are two cricketers in Indian cricket that everybody else, and Sarfaraz Khan, for example, should try and follow, to try and emulate. That is Jaydev Unadkat and Karun Nair. Even Jaydev Unadkat played his first test match at a very young age, and then took I think maybe a dozen years or so before he played the next test match. But he persevered. He went on bowling, picking wickets after wickets after wickets.
Okay, we seem to be having some trouble with the connection with Mr. Gavaskar. We'll try and establish that connection and get Mr. Gavaskar back. But remember, we were talking about some young players that have made the team, as well as some that have been left out. And while Sarfaraz Khan, Mr. Gavaskar was alluding to, is unlucky to have missed out. But Karun Nair is there. Yes, Saivai, sorry. We got disconnected at that moment. You were talking about Karun Nair.
Yes. Well, like Unadkat, I mean, Karun Nair has kept on scoring hundreds and hundreds and big hundreds, and kept on producing the runs every single innings. And that's why the selection committee had to take him back, because the man in form is one of your best bets, because he's got the runs under his belt. He's looking good. He's played county cricket in England, so he's got the experience of playing county cricket as well. So clearly, I think he's got experience of English conditions. So that's a very, very good call to bring him back in the team.
So here's one man, Zaima, who's done well in domestic cricket and now comes back. Especially last season was outstanding for Karun Nair. I'm going to take another name, in Shreyas Iyer. We know that he had been left out of the team. He was left out of the contracts, but now seems to be brought back into the contract, the central contracts. Is part of the Indian team in white ball cricket as well. He too had a very good domestic season, and I'm not talking about white ball cricket. Even in Ranji Trophy, if I'm not mistaken, was averaging close to 60 for the games that he played for Mumbai this season. His collective form, I'm looking at his form in white ball as well as Ranji Trophy, all of it was signaling towards maybe some sort of return for Shreyas Iyer. That hasn't happened.
Yes, I think hard lines that you got to say, because he's done nothing wrong. He scored again heaps of runs in all forms of the game. So it's a little bit tough on Shreyas Iyer. Maybe, what happened whereby he lost his contract, and that perhaps is still something that maybe is rankling, and maybe that's a reason why he can't break it. But again, he doesn't have to give up. He's got age on his side. He's just got to keep on delivering, get the big hundreds. And he could well be back in the team sooner than later.
The other big talking point, Saibhai, from this selection is Mohammad Shami, and that's a curious case. I'll tell you why. Because the selectors were asked this question, they said that we've been told he's not fit. And I understand that once they get a sort of an indication from the BCCI medical team that he's not fit, he should not be there. Yet I see a newspaper interview with Mohammad Shami just today itself, in which he says he's all set. He's eager to go, and he feels Shami and Bumrah are going to be crucial for India going forward. So here's a case of the bowler wanting to go to England and performing for India, but there is a case of him not being fit. Are India going to miss a Shami, and should he have then been included? Why I'm saying, I know fitness is an issue, but let's say for a Jasprit Bumrah, you are doing some sort of workload management where you're going to rest him for a few games. Could that have been done with Mohammad Shami, considering his experience and the skills that he carries?
Well, I think you can't really argue with the medical team. If the medical team says that he's not fit for the tour, you can't really, do anything. But you're right. I think Shami and a Bumrah together with the Mohammad Siraj at first change, I mean, that would be a lethal new ball attack in any conditions. England, South Africa, Australia condition, they would be a lethal new ball attack. But like I said, if the medical team has given the report, then you can't really. You and I, we won't know exactly what the fitness situation is. So we've just got to go by what the medical team says.
Another newcomer into the test squad, Sai Sudarshan, but that I'm sure wouldn't have surprised you considering the form that he's been showing lately.
I'm not surprised at all. He's been in tremendous form. He's a very, very good young cricketer. Also, I think somebody who's had the experience of playing county cricket last year. So he's had experience of playing in English conditions. It's a very good selection. And good luck to the young man. I hope he cements a place for himself with the team.
Saibhai, now that we've spoken about a lot of these players, let's try and make the 11. Considering this is the eve of the test match, now we know the squad. This is the Leeds test match. You know the 18-member squad that have been picked. What would be Sunny Gavaskar's ideal 11 for that game?
Good. See, I'm not really very good at selecting teams.
No wonder you never became a selector then.
Yes, I mean, look, as a selector, you would watch every ball. I didn't watch every ball even when I was playing cricket. So being a coach and a selector is certainly not my cup of tea. But I would imagine that you would open the batting with Jaiswal and KL Rahul. This is what my opening pair would be. And number 3 would be Gill, and number 4, Karun Nair. Number 5 would be Rishabh Pant. And, then after that, you look at including Nitish Kumar Reddy. He's not done the best in the IPL, but he's a very, very fine cricketer. He can give you some overs as well. He's an outstanding fielder. And Jadeja. And that would be my team. And then I'd pick 3 quicks definitely. And maybe Kuldeep Yadav as well.
Okay, that's interesting. So 2 spinners in Jadeja, Kuldeep. You've got Nitish Kumar Reddy as that fast bowling all-rounder that you have got. And then we've seen the top 5 batters that you've gone with. Who would be your 3 fast bowlers?
It would be Bumrah, Siraj and Arshdeep.
Bumrah, Siraj and Arshdeep. Wow, that's a very well-rounded team. It is a team that, that can definitely compete. And that will take me to my next question. How do you rate India's chances versus England? England very good at home, and Indian teams in the past have also found it very tough in English conditions. This young Indian team, how do you rate their chances in the 5 test match series?
I do believe our bowling can win us the games, will win us the matches. And it'll be tough for the batters at the start, certainly at Leeds and maybe even at Birmingham, it won't be easy. But as the summer progresses, as the sun comes out a little bit more, then I think it'll be a lot better for our batters as well, and a little more hard work for our bowlers. But I believe we have the all-round strength, batting as well as bowling, and spin bowling as well. So I do believe that we could go on to win this test series.
Okay, that's a big statement. Mr. Gavaskar does feel that even though India has a young team going to England, they still have a very good chance of winning that series. Just one word on how would you want, the stakeholders of Indian cricket, that includes the fans as well, when they go on to judge this team on a tough tour like that of England. Would you ask for some sort of patience, a longer rope with this young team and a young captain?
Definitely, yes. I think nobody is an instant success. So you've got to be patient with the team, just like you want to give your youngsters enough opportunities to fail, not enough opportunities to succeed. Enough opportunities to fail, after which you can say, look, they played 4 matches, 5 matches. We don't think that they seem to have it. Similarly with the captaincy, you've got to give Shubhman Gill not just 1 series. You've got to give him maybe a whole season of captaining India. And thereafter, look as to how he's coped up with it.
Last couple of questions, Saibhai. One, how do you see this new partnership? We've spoken about Shubhman Gill, the captain, Rishabh Pant, his vice captain, and you need to have a good partnership between the captain and the vice captain. How do you see this partnership going for Indian cricket? And I'm not asking about just this tour, because it does seem to be a long-term partnership.
I think they get along very well. From what we've seen, they get along very well. So I think that'll be a very good combination of Gill and Pant. That'll be a very, very good combination. Rishabh Pant behind the stumps will be a key factor in telling Shubhman Gill what the pitch is doing, how the batter is coping. So, and of course, with his cheekiness behind the stumps, he can get under the batter's skins as well. So he's going to be a key factor as well as a vice captain.
And finally, Saibhai, before I let you go, this is Of course, we're talking about the Indian Test team, but this is also IPL season. We already know the top 4. Now that you've seen where and how teams are playing, and we also know which teams are going to be missing a few of their overseas players in the playoffs, which 2 teams, according to you, are going to be playing the final this season?
My feeling is that it's going to be the 2 teams that have not yet won the IPL trophy.
Okay, which definitely means it's going to be a Punjab versus RCB final. That is what Mr. Gavaskar is hinting at. Saibhai, thank you so much for taking our time. I know you have commentary duties today. Enjoy the game, a crucial game at that, between Punjab and Delhi. That is going to be played in Jaipur, and that's exactly the city that Mr. Gavaskar is joining us live from. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the Indian